What's up, everyone? Aaron Schatz here, Editor-in-Chief of ASE Publishing, and today we finally have the review of the TP-Link Smart Home Suite right here. This is review ID 58425. You can check out this and all our reviews by going to our website at www.aselabs.com. I'll save you the trouble real quick because you are probably watching this on YouTube right now. And if you are, we only post videos these days, so there's really no reason to go to the website unless you want to read a text summary, which is actually pretty handy if you can't really watch a video, so you should go to the website anyway. But what's even better, you hit the subscribe button in the lower right here that's big and red and says subscribe. You hit that, you'll be informed of all of our content. You know what? This is a review. Here's the things we're reviewing, so let's get into this. I know there's been plenty of time between the unboxing and this review, and there's a couple of reasons for that. And I make no excuses for it. Number one is scheduling. Just too much time, whatever. That's not a big deal. Number two is you notice that the smart home Wi-Fi switch is not located on this table, and it was in the unboxing. There's a reason for that, because the Wi-Fi switch actually requires a hot wire in your light switch, and my house, my parents' house, none of the electricians wired it that way. So basically how you'd have to wire the home for the Wi-Fi switch to work is you have to have the power and ground going through the actual switch and then onto the actual device that it's actually switching. My house and my parents' house basically have power going to the device, and they just put a connection to the switch that loops back. So all you need to do is turn off and on, and it just breaks the connection. So there's no power line in there. There's no white line in the switches. So the Wi-Fi switch did not work. But these two things don't require rewiring, so there you go. And if your house has the wiring going through the switch first, then the Wi-Fi switch will work just fine, and actually it'll act just like this little device right here, which we'll go into right now. One other reason that it took a little bit of time is because I was actually waiting for Google Assistant to actually be supported on devices, and as of a few weeks ago, it actually is, and now we're getting down to this review. So let's get started. If you haven't seen the unboxing, you don't really need the unboxing. Basically, you open the boxes, you get this thing and this thing, depending on which one you buy. This is the color changing bulb. This one is basically the plug that allows you to monitor your energy usage. And really, there's really nothing else in the box other than that. Let's take a closer look at the smart home plug right here. So basically, one thing that I'm going to ding TP-Link on is the actual shape of the device itself. Most of these devices have this similar problem. So basically, if you plug this into an outlet, the lower part of the outlet protrudes down. So if you have a double plug outlet, the second device is going to have a real tough time fitting under this thing. And I don't know why everybody makes that decision, but they do, and there you go. It's just people just like bulky things, and it might have to do with the Wi-Fi in it or what have you, but still, I would like to have seen a little more cutoff on the bottom so I can actually use two plugs on my outlet instead of really trying to use just one. So that's that. Otherwise, fairly standard stuff. It's a pass-through. You actually have a power button here to manually turn it on and off. You have a single button on top to control everything. If you want to do any resetting of this, basically there's two modes to reset. If you have this all set up and you move houses or you move something or it's completely borked for some reason, you hold this in for 5 seconds, it'll put it into app configuration mode, which means that you can actually use the Kasa application to redo everything on this. The second thing is you can hold this down for 10 seconds while it's on, both things are while it's on, and it'll hard reset it, and then you can take it from there. On the flip side, we have the smart Wi-Fi LED bulb, and this one is color changing. Basically, if you know the Philips Hue or something like that, it's basically the same thing. You get to control the brightness, the color temperature, the entire color range too. This is RGB, so it's not just like, from cool white to bright white to soft white. It's literally RGB color scheme. So you can make it red, you can make it blue, you can make it green, whatever you want. You can change the brightness, and both of these devices actually have scheduling functions in addition to the actual smart home stuff that they all support right now. And that's really cool because, honestly, once you start using these devices, and you got to think of a use case for it to use. Now, the scheduling alone is actually pretty cool because Otherwise, you'd have to get those manual timers if you wanted to use a timer, and yada yada yada. And then even then, you don't have the actual flexibility to just turn it off and on when you're downstairs and the thing is upstairs, or you're away from your home. And there's a lot of interesting things you do once it's tied into a smart home system. That being said, let's just say that you have this installed and it gets screwed up, loses its network, you change the network and you forget how to you forget what this thing is doing on, so you have to reset this. To reset this, you notice there's no actual buttons anywhere on this. It's basically a replacement bulb, right? It's an LED bulb, color changing, great. How do you reset this? Turn off the light switch. Then flick it on and off 3 times. That'll soft reset it. It should be able to reconnect to the application. If that doesn't work, you can hard reset it by turning off the light switch and then turning it off and on 5 times. That'll hard reset this thing, put it back into factory default mode, and then you should have no problem reconnecting with it and then setting it up manually. It's time for me to show you the My Casa application and its use. You've seen applications like this before when I've reviewed D-Link products. TP-Link actually, their application's pretty sweet. It's to me it's more polished than D-Link's. Like I'll show you right now. I'll inline this on this side or this side. One of the sides, you'll actually see my phone's screen. So I have this device and this device set up, and real quick, I used to use this for my plants and change the spectrum, doing all kinds of weird stuff. But for now, I'm going to just turn down the brightness a little bit so it's not blinding my eyes. And you can see that here's the actual smart Wi-Fi bulb right here. So if I wanted to change this to purple, bam, change that to purple. If I want to change it to yellow, or whatever color that is, there's sort of yellow. Red, you want to change it to that color, you want to change it to whitish. So you can also go to the white color spectrum, which basically is, here's really, really soft white, and here's really, really cool white. Like really cool white. Down here is more what everyone's used to, pretty much in this area. So if I increase the brightness all the way, well, so you can see it's getting warmer and cooler. There you go. Both of these devices do scheduling, so I will show you that in this one. Actually, I'll show you in this one, because I don't have anything. So this one I call the plant light, and I'm going to just turn it off for right now. I'm going to show you the scheduling for this guy, which I call test plug, because, I mean, there you go. Now let's say that you wanted to have a schedule. There's 2 ways you can do a schedule. One, you could schedule stuff for away only, and then you could just say, oh, I'm away, and it'll do the scheduling itself. Or you can have it do it all the time. So if I wanted to schedule something like, this is stuff I just preset for testing. So let's just get rid of all this stuff, right? So you basically long press to delete everything. So I'll do that now. And let's just say you wanted to turn the lights on at, I don't know. Let's just say that you're controlling, I don't know what we're doing. Here, let's just say we're turning the lights on at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m., we're going to turn it on, and then you got to say every day. So the schedule can get complicated if you want it to be. So we're going to say, I want this on at 7 p.m., and then I want another event to be off at 11:15 p.m. every day. So what this is basically doing is, and I just didn't say on, I want off, there you go. So what this is basically doing is saying, at 7 p.m., turn on, at 11:15 p.m., turn off every day of the week, there you go. Now, that's working. So if we go in, we can do the same thing on the plant light, and I can show you the schedule that I actually set up already, that this is based on colors too. So this is on plants. So at 7 a.m., I made it blue. At 11:22 a.m., I made it a softer white. At 3:23 p.m., I made it red. And at 6:23 p.m., I made it a cooler white. And at 11:45 p.m., I turned it off. And that's basically it. You can get really complicated with these schedules. Also, I'll show you how to do the smart home stuff in a little bit. But if you see, you can see the usage that I have today, and there you go. This one and this one do energy usage. And honestly, it's not, this is LED. I think it consumes like 11 watts while it's on. This one consumes barely any energy. So it's not like it's crazy. And honestly, like, the benefits far outweigh the minuscule power drain that you're actually going to get. So you can see that the wattage of this, the usage of this thing is not that much right now. I literally just turned it on, so there you go. That's why it's not showing that much. But you can see the runtime is 0.1 hours, which is great. So here's the other interesting stuff. You can set away times. It's like, for instance, I want to turn on, sure, I'll just do it for an hour, and we'll just repeat just do this, just to show you. And now the away mode is enabled, and now I'm going to stop it. There you go. So basically, away mode allows you to just set a timer real easily, just to say like, oh, turn my house lights on at X and turn them off at Y. Scheduling allows you to do really, really complicated stuff. You can also do scenes, which I'll show you. So I keep getting ahead of myself, and I apologize. It'll also do timers. So if you wanted to say like, oh, I'm turning this on right now, like if I turn this off by the switch, right? So let's just say I go and manually turn this on. Now I say I want to turn this off in 30 minutes. Boom. So in 30 minutes, this will turn off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean turn on. I wanted to turn off. So let's turn it off in 30 minutes. Likewise, you could do a turn it on in 30 minutes. The possibilities are just endless. It's crazy. Let's see what else I want to show you in this application. Okay. Scenes. So a scene, think of a scene as like mood lighting. So good morning, good night, movie night, custom. So you can actually go in and say for good morning, that means that the plant light is on at 5% and this test plug is on. So if I preview it, boom. I can change it, make it that color, I'll put it 100% red. So if I preview that, boom. And there you go. So I can actually just, yeah, sure. Good morning, save. Good. Yay. So now that scene is set up, I can actually just click the thing and it'll do it. If I wanted to add a new scene, I could just make a custom one, for instance. So let's just say, I want both of these on, I want to turn this thing off, and I want this doohickey to be 50% brightness at that color. Now let's make it a custom color. So we'll make it like green, like that color green at like 44% brightness. Next, and then this is this icon right there, sunset. Sure, I have no idea why I'm making this, but there you go. So let's just say I want sunset. Oh, there you go. And that's how that works. You can easily just, so if you have all these TP-Link products, you can easily just set them up one scene, click it, boom, there you go. So smart actions. Basically, if you have a smart home router, you can control a lot of stuff, but you can do this through Google Assistant or Alexa, which I'll show you right now. Let's just say that you have a Google Home or an Amazon Alexa and you want to set these devices up to be used with that system. Now, yes, I understand that Google Home and Amazon Alexa are creepy things, and I also agree that they're creepy because they're probably just listening to everything we say and then pushing them to all these random places like government agencies and all that stuff. So there you go. It's just creepy, really. It creeps me out a little bit. And yet, I still own one, so it's just, I just like technology so much just to try it out, but eventually I'm probably going to be like, all right, this is too creepy and let's just not use this. But let's just say that you want to set this plug up. I already have the actual Wi-Fi LED bulb installed in the system. So let's just say you want to set up the actual smart plug. So to do that, you basically go to this one, click the menu, go to Home Control, and then you can see that I have something called Parents Living Room in there, which is the old thing that I called this, and we're going to get rid of that. So it's, I don't know how to get rid of it in Google Assistant, so, oh. That's weird. I nicknamed it, so it was already in there. Oh, that's right. Forgot. I already linked the account, so it's not per thing. So let me just call this what it actually is. So let's call it the test plug. So there you go. Forgot about that. So if you already link the Kasa account to Google Home, every device is already in there. So if you don't have something set up, you just go into here and it'll show you and you can actually set it up. So we're going to put the room in the basement. That's where we are. We're in my basement right now. So now if you go into the rooms, you could say like, I'll bring my Google Home down here in a little bit, but this is basically how you set the actual Kasa application to link to Google Home. Now these two things can be controlled by my Google Home, and I'm going to get that for you right now. I have moved my Google Home down here so you can actually see how it's controlling everything, and that means that now the Google Home is listening to everything I say right now. A little creepy, isn't it? Let's just say that you're in a basement. I set these two devices now to the basement room, so if I want to turn them both off at the same time, I could just tell this thing, hey, Google. Watch this, ready? Hey Google, turn the basement off.
Sure, turning two things off.
Great, thanks for letting me know that. Hey Google, turn the basement on.
You got it, turning two things on.
But let's just say I want to turn the test plug off. Hey Google, turn the test plug off.
Okay, turning the test plug off.
Let's just say I want to turn this to white. Hey Google, turn the plant light to white.
Okay, changing the plant light to white.
Hey Google, turn the plant light to 100% brightness.
Okay, setting the plant light brightness to 100%.
This is not actually white, this is soft white. So if you want to get different colors, you can just tell it a color to do. Like, let's just say, I don't know if it'll do cool white, but let's just say, hey Google, set the plant light to cool white.
Sure, changing the plant light to cool white.
That's not really cool white either. So I think the spectrums that they're using is a little off. But you can actually say like another color, like, hey Google, turn the plant light to blue.
You got it, changing the plant light to blue.
And I'm going to decrease the brightness because it's really bright right now. Hey Google, change the brightness to 30% of the plant light.
Sorry, I don't know how to help
See?
with that.
That's an example of me saying it incorrectly. So you have to say the device and then the actual thing you want to do. Hey Google, make the plant light 30% brightness.
You got it, setting the plant light brightness to 30%.
Hey Google, turn the test plug on.
You got it, turning the test plug on.
So all this is basically just to show you what you can actually do. Now with the room setup, you can actually say turn it off, turn it on, and the Kasa application actually gives you a lot more granular control over this rather than just like turning things on and off, setting the brightness, doing stuff like that. It also gives you scheduling and a whole bunch of other stuff. However, I do think that once this gets things like if this then that support, which it doesn't have right now, you're going to be able to do a lot of cooler things. And that's one thing that D-Link's suite has over this right now is it supports if this then that. However, the integration with Google Home is pretty much non-existent on D-Link's side. So this integrates really well with Google Home, and you can just tell it to do a lot of stuff. Whereas going through if this and that is kind of like wonky, because you have to set up everything individually. So every little command I have to set up individually if I want to do something on the D-Link side of things. With this integration, I can just tell it like, if I want to make this green, hey Google, make the plant light green.
Okay, changing the plant light to green.
And it just does it. Like, if I had to use if this then that to do this, I'd have to say like, okay, I want to say, if I say make the plant light green, then do this. I can't just say if I want to make it a color, then change the color. So this is a lot more flexible with the integration with Google Home than D-Link's software and hardware is right now. But something tells me that both of them will support everything that either of them does because they compete with each other. So there you go. Competition is great. Let's talk about the TP-Link Smart Wi-Fi plug first. This thing retails for $30 right now. It's a little bit cheaper than other products in the market that it competes against. It's actually a really good price for what it is. Smart Wi-Fi plug. I think the application is pretty good. It's pretty much one of the better applications I've seen in terms of usability. Works on Android just fine. That being said, you're going to get Google Home integration, Alexa integration. You do not get if this then that support. But with this integration, it's pretty cool, and something tells me that it's going to support it eventually. So if you buy something like this, it's just going to work eventually with everything. So there you go. Moving on to the smart Wi-Fi LED bulb, the color changing one. This one costs $50. If you don't want color changing, and basically TP-Link has a whole range. I think there's 4 types of bulbs that this actually does. So like there's one that's just on and off, one that does the white spectrum, one that's dimmable. They do a whole bunch of stuff, and they have varying different price ranges. For $50, well in line with the competition. I think the features are actually great. I think the integration with Google Home is great. I think the scheduling is great, and like I said, I like the application a lot. So if you like ease of use, TP-Link makes some great products at pretty good price points. ASC Labs and ASC Publishing would like to thank TP-Link for sending these products for review. You can look at links below in the description for links to purchase these products from Amazon right now. You can check out the links on ASC Labs as well. We got them there too. So hit them up, buy them if you need them, and let's move on. For ASC Labs and ASC Publishing, I'm Aaron Schatz, and thank you for watching. Wait a second, we got to set the mood here. Hey Google, turn the plant light on.
Sure, turning the plant light on.
This is not the mood that I wanted to set though. Hey Google, turn the plant light to red.
Sure, changing the plant
That's a
light
little
to
better,
red.
right? Wait, one more thing that I think I want to do. Hey Google, turn the plant light brightness to 100%. Much better. Now that's the mood that I want to set.
100%.
Stop talking in front of me. Jeez. This thing is very annoying. Like I said, I'm Aaron Schatz. Thanks for watching. And you know what? Remember this, that there's a subscribe button right below, and it's actually the same color as this bulb right now. It's red. It says subscribe. You hit that. You'll be informed of all the content as we post it. And remember, please like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear your feedback. Love to hear your feedback, especially criticism. Love to hear everybody that has criticism, especially if it's constructive. I don't want to just hear flaming and stuff like that. But if you have constructive criticism, I'd love to hear from you. A lot of people have said I'm very long-winded. I mean, that's why I do 1-minute reviews too. So if you want to actually watch a short version of this, you can check out the 1-minute review. Link in the description below. However, if you've already reached this part, you've probably already seen the entire review already. So there's really no point to seeing the 1-minute reviews. But in the future, if you want a bite-sized review, you can do 2 things. 1, you can check out the 1-minute review that we post right along these, or you can check out the text summary that we post at ASC Labs. The description has the links to either of those things, and they link to each other. So if you got the 1-minute review, you can see the long review, you can see the text summary, yada, yada, yada. There you go. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.